Welcome, everyone, to San Antonio by Night, Season 2, The Oncoming Storm, Episode 8. For now, we currently have Urien Doyle being the character that we follow. The last we left off, the coterie had just finished meeting with the barons and went about some personal errands, one of which was Urien teaching his child, or Carlos Vives, some of the intricacies of, hopefully, what will catch on to be blood sorcery. And Amber went about contacting an individual named Wolf, looking into why it is that a police officer named Deacon Johnson would be trying to find Urien. And so that is where we pick up. Urien and Amber have spent the evening discussing with them amongst each other what it is that they plan to do. Urien met with Fox, who also came back to the meeting place in order to pay for essentially room and board. And now Urien goes about introducing this new little coterie he's formed in Carlos, Alfonso, and Fox to figure out what exactly they're going to be doing as far as serving the domain. Let's get a little bit of thoughts from Urien as to what's going through your mind in regards to all that you've done.
Well, isn't it amusing? This is a small portion of everything I've lost. I am currently in the process of assisting these fletchlings. Truthfully, none of them have full understanding or grasp to what it is that they are involved in, but I will teach them. I will teach them the responsibility of what it means to be kindred, to serve sanctuary. They do not understand their importance in it, and like anyone who is responsible with their domain, they must know exactly who is in it and what function they serve. Most of the masses embraced in these knights were not embraced out of true ambition. They were individuals who may have served the purpose, but were not worthy in their sire's eyes. Why their sire just allowed them to exist and did not take back the blood, or at least cover up their tracks, is of no consequence now. They are mine. So, now it's best to put them to work. I am first and foremost the teacher, so I'll teach them. My intent is there was a particular bar, I forget its name, I don't take much note of these things. It's not my area of expertise, but it has been clear that it is Fox's, at least for feeding. Now they must come to understand how to use it. They have the ability to stake claim, and I wish to see if they are worthy of it, and groom them to be so. This also assists me with the Camarilla problem. For though, so long as they are my public outreach, I have a better idea of what it is I am dealing with. More eyes on the domain, more who are looking for oddities and things that threaten. They are now invested. They have a place to call home. And I think, in truth, that's all we all look for. It's a place to call home. My duties are never done, but I will not cast them aside. Not for anything.
That's more than can be said for some. Some are cast aside, some are destroyed, some are kept on a very tight leash. And so, we begin. Urien, I would like you to make a rouse check for me. We are starting a new night. And thankfully, that little hungry voice is no louder than it was last night. It still grumbles, but it's not any worse. And so, you make your way through the domain, doing a couple of your phone calls early in the evening, as you are wont to do, checking your vehicle, leaving the coterie house before leaving the coterie house.
Yes. I'm not sure if any of my contacts have mentioned anything odd that would be happening, but as of right now, they are my only eyes.
You get a worrying detail from Levy. It seems as if one of the members of your little gathering who had some interest but then decided against it had been attacked the other night. He saw it on the news. Person's in critical care, and the suspect is still at large.
Very well. I am going to spend the earlier portion of this evening establishing my current group, get them situated, and then I'm going to look through newspapers, get every bit of information I can about this individual before approaching them. I need to find out who did this and make them pay. No one, this may be a trap, but I cannot evade this form of cowardice. They cost me blood. It is only just that I cost it in kind.
So you make your necessary phone calls to the remaining interested parties through Levy and through your own contact information. Everyone else seems to be in high spirits. They definitely look forward to the next mass.
Yes, well, I will be needing to make that soon. Still, one thing at a time. So, let's see here. I believe my first approach, I'm going to Do you know the name? Do I know the name of this individual? Has it been released in the news?
Uh, currently high or low?
Hi.
Alright. The name hasn't been released yet.
Alright. Then I will. I will have to. I am going to give a call to Yvette.
Alright. Tell us a little bit about Yvette.
Yvette is. Well, she is a kind woman. A bleeding heart type, truthfully, but more than anything, she has taken that same kind-heartedness and became a defense attorney. She, I met her when she was still chasing ambulances. She's come up in the world a little bit, got past the bar exam, and it was quite a lovely time. She I have an appreciation for those who express kindness to those who will end up reflecting it. And the Yvette will give everyone the benefit of the doubt so long as they maintain a certain degree of dignity. There's something appealing to that. And it is, after all, in line with the code that LaVey had ended up offering. That Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. So, I've used her very much as a guiding light. Right now, because this is a open assault, she may have some information for me. And I would, at the very least, like to end up seeing who she would recommend in case charges are pressed. I know she's more of a defense attorney, but clearly she can find someone who would be in a good position to be able to assist my little dove that has fallen from the nest.
Okay. So you give a call over to her office, seeing as it's still fairly early in the evening. You actually are lucky enough to catch her. Hello?
Ah, Miss Miss Carter. Or is it Mrs. yet? Have you landed yourself a big fish yet?
Oh, too busy for that, I'm afraid.
Ah, nevertheless. Ah, it is Urien, if you have not guessed. Strange accent, man of mystery.
Yes. The uh,
Hmm.
the ever wonderful accent. I still am curious where you're from.
uh, I would let a lawyer. I would say, but that would be disrespectful to your talents. Unfortunately, this is not a house call that
Oh,
I ended making it. I'm so sorry.
sad. What can
It
I do for
is.
you?
A rumor has reached my ear that I'm trying to confirm. You may have read the papers this morning. A member of my own particular leanings had been assaulted.
I don't know if any details have come out. Are you certain?
No details of the name, but they are so fearful that they would not. I'm not even getting the name. Suffice it to say that when it has gotten to that level of fear, I take from your example, and I wish to reach out. At the very least, I wish to end up making sure that they are represented. properly and fairly. Mm,
Of
Maybe you
course.
can find out this person and be able to, upon request, offer them a number for someone whose services would be able to assist in this atrocity of justice.
Certainly, I will do everything that I can. Do you... The
They are
papers are...
currently in critical condition. That should narrow it down quite a bit. But, of
Ah,
course, me not being a member of office or a member of the press, there's only so much I can end up doing. I am simply a civilian in this case. But since I played the role of a pastor in this circle,
hmm.
well, you can understand my concerns, so I was hoping you would be able to assist me in this.
Well, I can definitely get them in touch with someone who would be a fabulous assault prosecutor. Um, let me...
I will give you a call tomorrow night if you are capable of getting that information.
Yeah,
And
I can certainly do that tomorrow. I was just about to head out.
I would not have you work overtime, even for an old friend. But we must do lunch sometimes. Well, dinner, unfortunately, my days are overbooked as it is.
Yeah,
But
we should
perhaps I
do
can
dinner.
we should. I will see if I can make arrangements.
That sounds perfect.
And to you?
I will definitely be scouring the papers tonight and see if I can dig up anything or find out anything for you. Um, yeah, give me a call tomorrow and we'll talk about it.
Ah, that's quite alright. That's quite alright. Now, with that being said, I give my best to Yvette. I try and remaining as awkwardly smooth as one in my position can be.
Mm.
And I hang up the phone. This is the worst part about the way I have to operate. Small conversations and wait for the response, but thankfully, it means I can be in more places than one at any time. I think that's something that many of the youth don't fully understand. If you have the right people in your employ, you don't need to run around night after night trying to find all these small pieces. You can build it up with the right people. Finding the right individuals.
The right people in the right place can go a long way.
Yvette will get me a name, and I will be able to find this individual, and then I will be able to find their attacker. And if I can do that, then I can find this person who would assault one of my own. I can make them pay for that. I waste no love on ingrates.
Was there anything else you needed to do before heading over to the meeting house to meet up with your little new coterie?
No. I am trusting Ember to end up handling the situation with the herd. They're running defense, I'm running offense on this game.
Perfect. Then you head over to the meeting house, where you see Carlos, Alfonso, and Fox are there waiting for you.
Ah, that that brings a smile to my face. I look at the three of them. I hope you've all had enough time to gather yourselves. Fox, how are you holding up?
I'm good. I've already eaten for today, so we're good.
You've already hunted. So quick and efficient.
I don't waste time.
That is a trait that I think many young ones could end up learning. Don't waste time, but do not become impatient. So, with you three, I end up walking up to Fox. And I take out one of my fangs, pierce my thumb on it, enough to get a small droplet. I give Fox and Alfonso a chance to look at it. And I offer it to Fox. I don't know what this is.
And they take of it.
Careful now. He continues to squeeze blood as he pulls it from her mouth and raises his hand to Alfonso.
And he takes it as well.
Have the shakes disappeared for you, Alfonso?
They were a little bit threatening to come back earlier today, but I think I'm good now.
I will end up continuing to hold the role of your dominator to end up stopping that from happening. For Fox, it will not be as rough. For you, it will be worse because you are already bound to him.
Mm-hmm.
It will take a long time, but I will help you through it. Looks to Carlos. This was in payment for their choices.
Right.
When you choose, it will be offered. Do you understand that, Carlos?
I'm not sure.
No, of course not.
I don't know what's going on here.
He licks the wound shut. Of course not. You have not had the indecency of being crafted through thin blood. To kindred, Fox and Alfonso are as lepers, diseased, wretched things who are only 1 foot in the grave, not true kindred like yourself.
Interesting.
They have no place. When others look at them, they see something to be hounded and destroyed, or something to be kicked down. I give them an opportunity for more, such as what we will be finding tonight. Though it is a shame, Fox, that you have fed so early.
Oh?
Tonight, we're going to discuss what I want you watching for. What your three's responsibility are.
Yeah, you said something about a club?
You have a particular place you enjoy feeding, Fox.
I do. I've actually I don't know. I since I've been domain hopping, I kind of just go from club to club, but
You are exactly the type I wish you to catch. You know how it's done, so you know what to watch for.
that's
Alfonso,
true.
you're akin to a bouncer. You're there to keep the peace, And those who are unwanted, I want to put in line. You understand what this means, right?
Yeah, like you said, I'm a bouncer.
Carlos, you understand security systems, and you have the physical capability, much as Alfonso, but you have something else. You have a reason to end up keeping this domain safe. I
That's
want
true.
you to have a larger view of things. Your blood is whole, and so it offers legitimacy to these two. It's a point of status that ends up protecting them, and so you do protect them just by your presence. When Alfonso moves, if anyone dare question it, it is with your blessing.
Alright.
You're going to be the one who will be trying to take this club. You will be assisting in making sure it is bound to you three, that it is protected by you three, and that every kindred that thinks that they can feed without request comes to you first. Or, and if they do not offer anything, they do not show you the out respect, well, I would like to think I've already made the demonstration.
Alright.
In this, Carlos, you can start taking a small cut to divide amongst your coterie as you see fit. I emphasize very much that it's Carlos's choice. And then I kind of narrow my eyes to make sure he knows that it is his. In doing so, you two will try and end up assisting him in this endeavor. Protect it, build it, make it more than it is. More people, more money, more prestige, and quiet.
Very quiet.
Are you ready for this endeavor?
The three of them kind of look at each other, and Fox and Alfonso look to Carlos, and Carlos then looks to you and says, I think we're ready then.
Fantastic. He starts to walk to the van, checks it again, even though it's only been a few minutes, making sure to lock up behind him and checking the van, checking around the circle, the other, or for anybody who might be spotting them. And if nothing, he will start driving, willing to answer questions or anything of the like while they drive.
Okay. Amber, you're you're at the end of the parking lot or the drive for this particular meeting house, and you see that Urien is preparing the van to get ready to leave. Go ahead and make a rouse check for me.
I shall do as such.
Thankfully, your beast is as quiet as you left it. No new scratching, no new voice. It's very calming to know that it's under control right now. But you see that Urien is getting ready to leave with Alfonso, Fox, and Carlos, the four of them checking out the vehicle in the ways that they can. Looks like they're ready to head out.
That's very interesting. Unfortunately, I'm running a little late as I had to pick up some new concealer and some bitch decided to try and steal the last bottle. No, that concealer is mine! She learned that very quickly. But, no, that's very interesting. I think I might have to go and see what the racket's about. See what it is that they're doing. I mean, it's not like our little production is ready just yet. There are other things that must be acquired. Speaking of some of those said things that must be acquired, I do have a duffel bag full of bills sitting in the back of my car, ready to give to Urien so that he may acquire the props that we require.
The props for staging. A very interesting thought.
You could sit up.
Urien, through looking around the property, looking through the van, you do see that that Amber's luxurious car has pulled up through the drive.
You'll have to pardon me, but my work is never done. Oh. He reaches over to Fox's face without any real care and just kind of wipes their bottom lip, wiping his own blood off of it. It's best to remain presentable.
Right.
Nobody wants a beautiful creature such as yourself to suddenly enter a bar with a bloody lip. It attracts too much attention and in all the wrong ways.
Fair enough. And they kind of instinctually wipe their lip after you have.
He starts to make his way to Ember's vehicle.
Would I see that play out? Just through my front windscreen?
He reached into the van, so that might be all you pick up unless you're using Auspex.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be using Auspex currently.
Then
I wasn't looking for the conversation or anything, just the movements.
as far as you can tell, Urien reached into the van and then came back out and is walking towards your vehicle.
Okay. Shall present myself for the placing a little bit of tucking a little bit of my hair back behind my ear. Got a little mussed up due to earlier occurrences. And as he approaches, she'd have a smile on her face. Ah, Mr. Doyle, good evening to you.
Miss Dupree, you look all the wreck. What happened to you, my dear? Please do not tell me that night to night has caused you to end up losing your luster, or is this just how you wake up each near sundown? You just have not had time to get gussied up for my appearance.
I mean, you could say the latter. I needed some more concealer, and someone decided that it would be a good idea to try and take the last bottle as I was going to reach for it.
If only all our problems were so mundane. But
Only.
what do you have to report? I was just on the way to assist the Thinbloods with their feeding and get them established proper in the domain.
I mean, I suppose that is a good idea, but she reaches into the back and pulls out the duffel bag. He's like, as was promised, the resources to acquire the little props that we need for this, the little production that we're putting on.
Fantastic. I've already made the arrangements with my contact. I will acquire it shortly. How much more time do you need to get everything set up?
Currently, physically scope out the location, and, well, that's about it. Physically scope out the location and make sure that everyone that we have got for this is in place, ready to put you in and pull you out, as it were.
Well, let this go smoothly. Because it's either this or I'm going to have you blood bond the policeman.
I did think about that.
But then
And
you
trust
need to distract it to do his job properly. And ironically, I know you may not believe this, but having a honest policeman is a lot more difficult to maintain than one who is bought and paid. Rare is it to find someone whose integrity cannot be bought or trifled with. I prefer not staining those gems when I find them.
which is more than fair enough. But if I will tell you, Mr. Doyle, that if this plan doesn't work, that is plan B.
Fantastic. Now, if you know what Plan F is, then I will know that I'm impressed that you've thought this through. Still, he takes the case with the money in it. That will more than suffice.
And
Amber?
it's pretty hefty, too. It's a couple $1,000 worth.
Probably pays for more than what we're asking, but that's probably part of Urian's plan. He starts to take a step back. So what will you be busy in yourself with scouting the location, what have you?
Yes, that's my next stop. And then after that, I think I might pay the little detective a visit and see how far along he is.
Fantastic.
See what the timing's like.
Might I make a suggestion? You really, really do need people.
Yes, I really do.
An investment of a few nights, a few gestures could save you hundreds of years of work. It's one of the reasons I invest in the young, such as yourself.
I do have a little contact bit forming. It's just, unfortunately, the person I have to work through is prickly at best. But it'll be worth it in the end.
See that it is. Well, my albino delight. It is always a pleasure to see. But Unless you wish to make an appearance at the local watering hole, I think this is where we must part. I hope to see you here later on this evening, and you can inform me of all the delights you have shared.
Yes, I think I will do that.
Oh, though I should inform you, one of my following, your herd, was attacked and is in critical condition. I have people looking into the name and contact information of this individual, but should that information be of interest to you, then by all means use it. At the very least, I figure that should be a nice bit of information as a bonus for your mundane assistance. He hoists the bag.
She just nods. Like, I think I will have a little look into that. I can understand a priest wanting to proselytize, but attacking people?
Which would imply it might be someone outside, or perhaps something he has instigated. Or something else, less mundane.
I think I'd rather like to know for sure.
As would I. But I thought it might be useful information. Until then, he extends his hand to Amber.
Would nod to him and pull out, because now she's got quite a number of things to do tonight. More than she had. Scouting out the physical location to where this stuff is going to go down, it's probably not going to take all that long.
No, probably more. It takes more time to drive it.
Yes. So that'll be my first stop. Physically scouting out the location of the lake. How am I going to frame this little production in my mind so that they may frame it in reality?
Fantastic. Alright. Well, let us not dally.
Yes, let us not.
Be well, Miss Dupree.
And you as well, Mr. Doyle. And she's gonna get out of there quick smart, because that little being in critical condition is something that's very, very interesting to her. Just in terms of what might be going on. Doesn't make her happy though, not in the least. In fact, pisses her off to no fucking end.
He gets back to the van. Quick stop, kiddies. He kind of looks in the mirror at himself. That is the expression, yes?
Quick stop?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not sure I know what you mean by that. Carlos says.
I was anticipating payment. That being said, he pulls out, he unzips it, very clear to show what kind of money he's actually handling. Flips out the fairly hefty amount. He makes sure he's not greedy, and plops it on Carlos's lap.
Oh.
That's your cut.
Alright. Good to know. I'm not entirely sure where I should be storing this right now. This is a bit more cash than from before.
I told you. All things in time.
He just starts stuffing it in pockets, and you can tell that his pockets are a little bit bloated.
Well, it's small bills, so you better be careful with that. He starts to begin driving, and he is going to drive to Doc's, who he's already made the arrangements. You know, there's something about being able to do business with a with a mob vet, or pardon, a mob doctor.
Certain benefits indeed. So you make your way through the streets once more, heading towards Doc's location. And you drive up kind of close, not too close, to her office of practice. You know that on the face a she she does have her own medical practice on the outside, but you know that there are probably some shady things that go on beyond. You've never been that far into her particular establishment.
I try not to be, until she invites me.
Best not to pry.
We have that mutual respect. Well, when I end up knocking on the door, she should be expecting me. Hardware is ready when payment is ready, and the payment's ready now. One is one small caliber pistol with a single clip, and one large caliber, something with a lot more stopping power and enough rounds to not have to worry about it for a while.
You
Right.
you knock on the door, and she does answer.
Doc,
Mr. Doyle.
it's so good to see you. I apologize that this will be brief, but
Oh,
I did make sure to place a small bonus, finder's fee for you.
perfect.
Now, you are sure that the serial numbers are removed and will not be acided back in? I believe that's how it's done now. I've watched a few TV shows that got me caught up to some things, but forensic science was never one of my big things.
I can guarantee you that this will not come back to you, not come back to me.
Fantastic. Urien places on, or Urien with gloved hands, checks the weapons to the best of his ability, not like he knows what he's doing with them, but he places them in a small bag and smiles to Doc. So I hope everything has been going smoothly for you.
Smooth as it can be.
Is there anything I can assist you with?
Just business troubles.
Anything I can assist you with?
A certain punk has been causing a little bit of a fuss with my business anyway. But nothing I can't handle.
Are you sure?
Fairly certain.
If your mind changes the next time I call you, do not hesitate to ask me over for tea.
It's always a pleasure to have you over for tea.
Last night, I must look after my flock.
The police have been getting a little bit antsy.
What is that?
I don't know. They just don't like... They've never liked us, so... Just trying to stay on top of it.
Well, at the very least, your business and your side gigs can remain lucrative. I trust that you will retire a millionaire shortly.
One can only hope.
You can hope in one hand and shit in the other. That's it. That is the expression, yes.
I'm not sure I've heard
I
that one.
to see which fills up quicker.
Mm.
I've always been preferring of deeds over empty prayers. That's why I like you, Doc.
Mm. That's why I
Hopefully
like you
next,
too.
hopefully next time, it will be flowers, tea, and well, more fun rather than menial tasks. Good evening, Doc.
And you as well.
You've always been a light in my evening. He takes the case carrying the guns and starts to walk back to the van. Opens the door, closes it, and opens the case. The larger caliber, the one with the heavy stopping power, he puts in this holster, however you wear these modern things. And what he assumes, they look like the bigger bullets, so he's assuming it goes for the bigger gun. And places them on Alfonso's lap. And that's your payment. Sorry, not Alfonso's, Carlos's.
So you're giving him and the gun and the bullets, the large caliber.
Yep.
He kind of looks it over, and it's kind of a larger caliber pistol. He looks it over, and he quirks his brows. Damn. This is a piece.
The serial number has already been removed, and he removes his gloves, grabs hold of the gun, keeps his finger off the trigger. He at least knows to keep his hook off the bang switch, and holds it. And you do not have to worry about fingerprints. You two should never touch this, however. I'm not sure about you, but the cute thing about being dead, Carlos, you don't sweat, you don't create oils, so you don't leave fingerprints. So, the only time you need to wear gloves, he gestures to his arm, is when you need to convince everybody else that you do.
Aha. Oh, that's interesting.
He checks the rearview mirror to see if everybody's paying attention.
Alfonso and Fox are definitely attentive.
Keep it on you, but use what you can. You may not need it, but remember, if it's kind, it's a lot easier to explain a bullet than it is an exsanguinated corpse. Louder, but easier to explain.
Perfect. Then I'll keep that in mind.
Yes, it also does jack shit against most kindred. At the most, it's an annoyance if it's something like this, hence we went with a larger caliber. But outside of explaining what has enough stopping power to stop a charging rhinoceros, there's only so much. Still, proper skill, training, and understanding of your conditions will assist in that matter. Now, who's thirsty? He pipes up as he puts the van in reverse and gets ready to start driving.
All right. And you're heading towards the club that
Yes, that unnamed club as of yet.
you you know of one. It's called Club Lush. It's a new scene. It's not very well provided for, we'll say. It's since it's such a new establishment. The it kind of nestled in the eastmost corner of your own domain, which is a very which if put to a very attentive person could generate a lot of traffic. There's a lot of potential here.
This brings back memories. Unfortunately, I was never in that side of the family, so we look forward to seeing the rest. But I take in the sights. I lock the vehicle and I may be sure to hide the gun in that underneath the seat, inside the seat, rather than just underneath it, along with anything else. Worst case scenario, it's a stolen van, but unlikely to be found for a gun.
You nestle it in there good. No one would be the wiser unless they knew what they were looking for.
Lock the vehicle. There's that weird beep beep thing that always bothered me. Still, I start to make my way into the club.
And the three follow you.
Now, once we enter in, I just kind of take my time and observe the place. I have them join me in a booth or someplace a little higher up to just observe the crowds. Take in the atmosphere, and more specifically, I'm looking for, if I am to feed here, where am I trying to hide? Where is nobody looking? Bathrooms are obvious, but he starts going through the checklist.
Okay. Then I would like you to make me.
I would imagine this is an investigation resolve. But...
Yeah, if you're willing to take your time with it, a resolve plus investigation.
I'm willing to spend willpower on that.
All right.
Derek Dice strikes again.
Okay.
Okay.
So looking through the club, you notice it is kind of a single floor establishment. There's not really a whole lot in the way of a balcony or anything like that. Since this is a fairly new scene, it's all one level, but there is a section of it that is kind of closed off to give a little bit more of a lounge feel. But the music can still be well heard, and you, Fox, Alfonso, and Carlos all make your way into that particular area. Makes it a little easier to get conversation going. The dance floor at this point is really all that you can see aside from the restrooms. You don't see, and maybe it's the haze in the club, but you don't see you don't see a back entrance, you don't see a kitchen of any kind, you don't really see much here. You assume there's offices, but you don't see them.
Interesting. So, What do you think of this place?
Fox kind of looks at it. It's it's interesting. It looks like it has. It could be good.
Yes, I imagine it could be.
There's not a whole lot of people here, though. There's a few. The dance floor is moderately full. This isn't a hopping place, though.
No, not yet. That's your job.
Yeah, I suppose it would be, huh? Because
Your first task. Oh,
I've
by all means.
seen other clubs, and like kind of hidden away a little bit, and they're a little bit nicer than this.
Yes. But those kinds of clubs are also the kind that attract specific clientele.
Mm.
When you go out for a drink and you're trying to avoid the tension, you don't go to the nicest clubs, do you, Fox?
Not really. I kind of tend to keep to places that are maybe a little in between.
He pulls out, or he grabs hold of a couple of napkins. He takes out a few felt markers. And he, on there, quickly draws his sign. Long point down. He rolls markers to Fox and Alfonso. Go to the washrooms, find a small corner where you will see it, but no one's gonna bother to clean it. No one gives a shit. You know what I'm talking about. The same way no one cares. For a good time, call 1-800-fuck you.
Mm.
You know. Leave that mark. Wherever no one would care to clean it or give a shit. Make sure you're not spotted.
And you're asking Fox to do this?
I'm telling Alfonso and Fox, I'm rolling markers and handing them the sheet of paper. Once it's done, bring this paper back to me along with the markers.
And both of them go off to do so.
That's Carlos. Do you understand why I'm doing that? Why they are doing that?
Kind of to put their own stamp on it.
Something like that. It puts my mark on it, claiming this as a part of my domain. So if you were to feed in the washroom, which is frequent, then you would see that mark. And if you see that mark, you know two things. One, you are either trespassing, or two, you know you're safe because you have permission.
Mm. Yeah, I've seen that mark around alleyways as we're driving.
I've been at this for quite some time. It takes some time to establish, but some marks are humans, others are masquerading as it. Myself, I made it very clear. I make it a point of the long point down to distinguish mine from any other would-be Satanist.
Mm.
The long point indicates me. Outside of it, it looks like some edgy teenagers trying to make a statement.
Huh.
It masquerades me well, does it not?
Seems effective.
But I want you to look at this. You said you were involved in security, yes?
Yeah. At the hospital
Good.
for the most part.
Good. And you have got more practice in the ability to make somebody forget. Correct?
That is useful. It's pretty useful when things get a little messy.
Good. You will be coming here to find the owner. And as I do to the Thinbloods, you will do to them. Go in the back. Ask them to go in the back. Express that you are looking for work. Because this will be your job, whether they like it or not. I will assist in that. But once they have tasted of your blood, repeatedly, they will be willing to do whatever it is you want. Their name on the docket, you're making the decisions.
Huh.
Do not force too much, or else, lest you craft yourself something worse. Right now you need their compliance. It is why I was open with Alfonso and Fox as to what they were signing up for. Your target does not need to know. Does not need to know what you are or who you are.
Mm.
They will just see you and know that this is a good friend, or I want this person to be a good friend.
Usually pretty good and good at that. I was head of security, not just a security guard.
Good, then they will need you. If Fox does their job right, they will be able to grow this crowd 4 or 5 times over. I will call in favors to bring in new talent. But it is your job to have this place under control. Not lock and key, but enough that your word sways decisions. Enough that you know who the regulars are, who could be feeding. Your security is that against the dead. Let the bouncers handle the living. Make sure that you are well worth the payment because of the friends you bring and the talents you bear. Have them put you on the payroll. Say you only work nights as your day job goes and you run on very little sleep. It will explain a lot of your behavior. Eventually, this place will be a low-birth solution gathering. Then every Thinblood, every lick, who comes into this club looking to feed will need to ask you for permission. And you will come to realize that you will curry favor. They must perform a task for the domain for our club. You will gather these sorts of favors, find who is truly lost. The more lost they are, the more I want you to bring them to me. Lest they be meeting a horrible end, coming to the wrong domicile.
I think I can work with that.
Do not overtax the club's resources. Take a small amount for your payment for your daughter. Build it up slow. I will inject what I can. And if everything goes well, I will celebrate by bringing the famed Amber Dupree into Club Lush. I think that should bring enough patrons at least for a surge. I can bring them. It's on your jobs to keep them.
Fair enough. That sounds doable. Doesn't sound terribly hard.
No, it is not. The terribly hard comes when you have a less than respectful lick.
Yeah, that doesn't sound pleasant.
Hence why you have Alfonso.
Is he really that strong?
Strong enough to make a difference in a pinch, but not enough to end up doing it on his own. That is why you are all together. Not one of you is strong enough to handle this task on its own.
I suppose that makes sense. Need a team. A team
And
to
this
cover
is
the whole
your
thing.
team. And this is your team. What have you come to learn about those two in the time that I have left you alone with them?
Well, let's see here. That, Fox is definitely incredibly smart, but, doesn't have the confidence for it. Seems to have a really good memory on them. Alfonso seems punchy, a little aggressive. Otherwise a good kid.
Yes. You know he owes me a life debt.
A life debt.
He would not exist if it were not for my decision.
Huh.
He will be loyal to me and loyal to you. But the measure of a man is not what he does when he is desperate, but when he is given power. This is the first test for you. They are the foundation of which you will build yourself in the next few nights. Impress me, and I will show you more. I will be expecting, once this is established, a bit of a kickback, as it were.
Understandably so. I've worked in business long enough.
Good. Then you understand that that will be used to fund other efforts, like I am currently using one of my own to fund this. To fund your daughter. But more importantly, I am giving you a future.
I like the idea of a future.
Your future is theirs as well. Your dream is theirs as well. They had nowhere to go. I may be the one that gave them place, but you are the one that gives them purpose. You are the one who protects them, even from themselves.
A leader of sorts. Which I've been pretty good at in life, so it's nothing new.
I told you I would find a place for you worthy of your talents. This is a small stone. In 100 years, who knows where you may end up. That's on you.
Cross that bridge when I come to it. Work on this first. And after a few moments, Fox and Alfonso do come back from drawing the sigils around the place.
It's so good to see you. He gestures for them to return the pen or the felt markers and the napkins. Were there any complications?
No, I think Alfonso pipes up. I kind of went in when nobody was in there, so it's a really small bathroom.
Good. Means that if anybody's doing something they shouldn't be, you should be quick to catch it.
Fantastic. And Fox pipes up. No problems either.
You will... So, when you see this, how do you think you would take this thing?
Fox kind of looks over to the DJ stands. Well, that guy's not that great. That's the first improvement, I think.
You're thinking of improving. I'm asking, how do you take it?
Take
How
it.
do you... Yes, how do you make this yours? I am giving you full reign to do with what you wish. And kind of leans in. Now, if you feel that you can just kill the owner and call it yours, then by all means, though that may end up leading to some complications with police and bills and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, that sounds...
How do you take it?
Kind of make yourself a regular?
You could. But I think you can do it much quicker. He gestures to Carlos. You two stay here and observe us from the bar. Or observe the bar. And with that, he's going to end up showing them exactly what he has planned with Carlos, which I'm assuming isn't going to require too many rolls, since we can pretty much tag team between compel and forget to our heart's content.
Yeah, there's no problems at all. No resistance when using your dominate powers between the both of you.
We ask for the person in charge. Now, we confirm that this individual is the owner. It doesn't really matter. They don't own anything anymore, not even their own minds. I would have them taste Carlos's blood and forget that they have. Just to re-meet Carlos on better grounds and establish that Carlos should be able to come back, maybe for a job interview, come in with a resume. And I show Carlos a little trick to trick somebody into drinking a droplet or two of their blood. It is a bar after all. But
Blood and Vitae doesn't lose its potency when applied fairly quickly.
such as offering somebody a shot. But that'll be quick, and after a few moments, I start walking back to where Alfonso's fox are. Congratulations, Carlos, you just made a friend.
Fantastic.
This whole shtick requires you making Alfonso and Fox honored guests here, but the attachment is to you. Everything comes back through you. Alfonso and Fox, you will endeavor to assist Carlos because you are all one in this endeavor.
And they nod.
What affects one of you affects all of you. What affects any of you affects me and the rest of our sanctuary. So, I expect this to be built up to be something so much more. You remember our dear Miss Dupree. When she is done with her task, I wish to celebrate. I wish to celebrate at Club Lush, and I wish to make it a public event. Something that drives people here. Make this place worth coming back to. And I will show you how to upscale what you have in here, in this place, is a small slice of what I must do out there. Know how to master this, and you will learn how to master that.
And with that, I believe we will take a quick break. And we will join Amber on her little escapades today when we come back. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night, Season 2, Episode 8. We currently find Amber at UT Medicine. After having visited Woodlawn Lake and getting the scope of the land, looking at the large body of water, the bridge that kind of spans the narrow end of it, the amount of street lights that perhaps line the place, she's gathered enough information to be able to set the stage. But now she's looking into the little herd member that had been attacked in the night a couple of nights ago. And figuring out exactly what happened and who may have done it. Upon looking over the papers and finding that the victim, the only piece of information that was released that was that the victim was at the UT Medicine Hospital. Amber, how do you plan to figure out who exactly it was and that got attacked? And how are you going to interact with them?
I am thinking that I might go and... The first thing I'm going to do is set critical condition. So in a hospital, critical condition patients are not that numerous. So I suppose the first thing I'll need to do is have a chat with the receptionist. I'm sure she'll be able to help me.
Okay. You walk through the lobby, the main visitors lobby, going into the hospital, and you realize that this particular campus of a hospital is very spread apart. There's several different buildings. There's different wings that are located in over the span of several city blocks. And
I'll be looking for intensive care, because I imagine that's probably where they would store a critical conditioned patient.
And with a little bit of maneuvering and some chatting up the receptionist at the entrance of one of the buildings, you find that the building that ICU is located. And so, how do you intend to find this person's name?
Yes, I need a name. I am going to need to find a name. That's a good question. I would say I'd give Urien a ring, but he doesn't carry a phone with him.
Sadly,
Actually,
he does not.
One of the other boys that is with him, because I can assume that at the very least Carlos was with him. If not Carlos, then Alphonse. That I might be able to call one of them and get them to grab the name from Mr. Doyle for me.
So you call up Carlos. You know he has a phone. He keeps it on his person and generally has it on silent, and you know that he keeps it for the sake of in case something happens to his daughter. And he does answer you. And you, upon exchanging a little bit of information, you realize that that the name wasn't reported in the papers.
Yes, it wasn't reported in the papers, but considering she was a herd member, I thought Mr. Doyle might know. I mean, I imagine you'd want to keep track of the names of the people that you're keeping an eye on, so to say.
Urien, I'll let you answer that question.
He takes the phone for a second. Dearest Amber, I would gladly end up answering that question would that I could. At this point, I am working on as much information as you are, though I have sources currently looking for that itself. Please understand I don't have enough time to be able to end up visiting each one individually, and who shows up is entirely based on who's curious. But I have it on good authority that they are currently, well, what might help in your approach is narrow it down to who has just recently showed up. You would also end up wanting to end up looking for Science Battery, and probably most important, you may wish to contact well, you are currently in the UT medicine facility, yes?
Yes, that is correct.
Then perhaps you might end up asking or taking a look at the paper yourself in the lobby. I'm sure the person who wrote the article would be of interest to you as well.
Yes, I probably should take a look at that. I'm sure they've probably got a copy of the local paper in the waiting room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please try not to end up calling this number unless it's absolutely necessary. I expect great things of you, Amber. And you're the one who told me I shouldn't need to hold your hand through this.
Understood. I simply thought there'd be a source of information, but you've given me enough to go on.
I've already ended up giving you everything. Do you think with such a task I would hide information from you?
I suppose not.
He hangs up.
And Amber just looks at her phone. Well, I suppose at the very least it shows initiative. And she'll put the phone away and have a look through the paper to find this particular article about this person being put into a critical condition and that they're at UT medicine.
You search through the paper. It does take a little bit, but you do find the article amongst other similar articles in the... It's not a headliner. It's certainly not anything of any particular note. You do see the article in question, and you see that it is written by a man named Clifford Leon.
Okay. I will make sure to keep that name in my mind, as he may be a port of call if I cannot... If my first plan doesn't go exactly as planned. I'm still going to go ahead with asking the receptionist about someone.
Okay. And so you strike up a little bit of a conversation, and when you ask, how do you go about asking without a name? I suppose.
Well, I would know that the basics of female had been brought into the ICU in the past couple of past couple of days, just kind of acting like the super concerned friend of a friend acting on said friend's behalf. Wasn't particularly given a name. Was just said that I needed to go here and find this person, so that I could talk to them on behalf of this friend that they know.
Make me a manipulation plus persuasion.
I am also going to be using ore on this one to announcing that before I roll.
Okay.
So as she's going to very much turn it on so that this lady's paying attention to her.
Then add presence.
Alrighty. So I need manipulation persuasion with presence. Huh. I expect that to go a little better, but that's right.
So you talk to the receptionist, and they're being very vague about information, giving information to you because it is personal information, and you're stating that you're here on behalf of a friend. And so they simply tell you she's being looked after. You can tell your friends that we will do everything in our power to make sure that she gets the best care. You have nothing to worry about.
Well, that is good to hear. Thank you very much. And she's as she exits the building, she's gonna pull out her phone again and start looking up some information on this Clifford Liam. Because if I'm probably going to need to get a name in order to see her.
You do a little bit of a search, and you are brought to the San Antonio newspaper website. You notice that his columns frequently cover recent events like this. That he doesn't. You don't see any noteworthy articles he has ever done. So he's not one who writes headliners, typically. He's maybe more of a little bit more of a sideline person. You see that there is a public contact number for him.
Let's try the public contact number first. I'd rather work smarter, not harder. If I don't need to go and hunt this guy down, then it'd probably be better if I don't. But I'm exceptionally curious as to what happened to this poor girl, and who did it, and under what pretext. Trying to preserve this herd, not have it be beaten into a bloody pulp.
Okay. And so you call, and it takes a few minutes for there to be an answer. And he introduces himself. This is Clifford Liam.
Good evening, dear. This is Amber Dupree. I'm calling you regarding an article that you wrote a couple of days ago about a girl who was put in the ICU.
Yes, that article went out today, I believe.
Do you have any more information on this? You see, I'm a friend of a friend.
As it stated in the article, the police haven't released any additional information.
The police haven't released any information. know anything about how she was found?
As I said,
Or
the police haven't released what exactly happened. You'd have to talk to the individual, and I don't have that name.
you don't have that name. Alright. That is... disappointing, but thank you for your time.
Amber, make me a wits insight. At a -1 for being on the phone.
Yep. I can make a wits inside at a -1. Get willpower on those 2 normal dice. 2 successes.
He was very quick to say he doesn't have a name.
As she's saying, you know, thank you for your time, she kind of stops. Mr. Liam,
Yes?
it sounds to me like you know more than you're letting on. I must let you know that the information that I am asking you for is of utmost importance to guarantee this woman's continued safety.
And to guarantee this particular person's continued safety, I cannot divulge any information that isn't released by the police.
Now, that begs a question, doesn't it? How do you have information that wasn't released by the police? Has one sideline reporter been snooping his nose around looking for a scoop?
Is there anything else that I can help you with, Miss Dupree?
Actually, yes. Yes, there is. I think I would like you to be honest with me, as it is, again, of the utmost importance. I mean, unless you want her blood on your hands.
Are you threatening this girl's poor life?
No, no, I am not. But someone else is. My job is to guarantee her safety. You not telling me what I need to know is putting that in jeopardy.
Then it seems to me you already know who's involved.
Now, I have a little bit of an idea. Unfortunately, things are a little hazy at the moment, which is why I need to talk to her about this.
Make me a manipulation persuasion.
Yep, I can do that. That is not manipulation, that is resolve. Manipulation. Wow, okay. I'm gonna be spending another willpower on that because that is a whole lot of no. Better.
He pauses for a moment. You got a scoop?
I could have one, but I need you to be forthcoming with me.
Alright. Where do you want to meet?
keeping the phone line open, I'm just going to very quickly take a look at a map, see if there's a nice cafe or like late night cafe or street truck or something like that that we could meet near.
Easily. Couple of blocks down.
It's like, I have the perfect place in mind. You can meet me here.
Alright. Then I'll see you there.
Yes, I'll see you there. And she'd hang up the phone there, slipping her phone back into what she's wearing at the moment. 'Cause she's unfortunately not wearing a dress tonight. That wouldn't be suitable wear. Instead she's getting around in a business shirt, a pair of dress pants, comfortable clothing. Still makes her look stylish as hell. She shakes her head. I never really liked talking over the phone, but now that I've got him coming, this will become a much easier endeavor. And she would head for the street truck and wait for him to arrive.
You spend a couple of minutes waiting. Ultimately, it doesn't take incredibly long because, as you may have suspected, this particular individual is looking for a scoop. And he is walking from a rather dull-looking vehicle, but is walking toward you. And he seems a little bit in awe.
And as he walks over, Amber turns to him and gives him a smile. Mr. Liam.
I didn't expect the Amber Dupree.
Oh, you know of me?
You're Instagram famous, and I'm a decent fan. I wouldn't say a fanatic, but I'm a fan of your work. Excellent photography.
It's good to hear that someone appreciates my art. It warms my heart, so. But we didn't come here to stroke my ego, as much as I do love that.
You said you had a scoop. You said you know who may be coming after this particular girl.
I have a few ideas, but I'd rather not trifle with maybes, as it were. Trifling with maybes means that people get hurt, and unfortunately enough people have been hurt in this situation.
That's very true.
So as such, I need to speak with her. I need to know what's going on, specifically from her mouth, the things she saw.
And you want her name. And you're a friend of a friend.
Yes, I'm a friend of a friend.
This isn't gonna come back to me, is it?
Not at all.
Alright. Her name's Hannah Duncan. So who's going after her?
I have reason to believe that she was attacked by a group of religious fundamentalists. She had some less than Christian beliefs.
Alright.
And Unfortunately, I think some poor zealot has taken it upon himself to deliver righteous judgment.
And you have reason to believe he's going to come after her if he knows where she is?
Yes. That is the thing with zealotry. It's like a fire. It consumes everything in its path.
And you know who this zealot is?
That is the one thing I don't know. It's why I need to talk to her. I need to get a physical description of the person she saw. Because then I would be able to better narrow it down.
Well, you have her name now.
I do, and for that I thank you so very much.
Do you think I can get an autograph?
Sure.
Should be sufficient enough payment.
Sure. I'd be more than happy to give you an autograph. And, do you have something that I could sign?
He pulls out a business card and a pen.
And she's going to sign it in the same way that she signs her artwork, because she has the stage signature. She's not going to use her actual signature because that would be dangerous. But she has a stage signature that she uses. He would very much notice it because, you know, her photos are watermarked for copyright reasons, and because the last thing you want is someone stealing your work. So she signs it, and she'd hand it back over to him with a smile.
Pleasure.
Yes, a pleasure indeed. Once I have some more information, Mr. Liam, I think we should be in contact again.
I look forward to it.
More than happy to give you this scoop that you're so desperately looking for. And she smiles, and with that being their business being conducted, she's going to leave.
Alright. And so you leave the little coffee shop and you head back.
I'm gonna give it a little bit of time, because if I walk back in there right now, the receptionist is gonna be exceptionally suspicious.
Okay. So you wait a little bit of time and then go back in to speak with the receptionist again. This time providing a name.
Yes.
It's a different receptionist, which you could be glad for.
Exceptionally.
And the room leads the room number she gives you is in the intensive care, and you make your way towards the elevator when a familiar person catches your eye. Oh, actually, what? Okay, that's what I was doing. Just walking past with another individual, talking fairly like coworkers. But unless you plan to interact with them, they're going to pass you by.
Oh, okay, that's... Calm. would look to the two because I do recognize Carmen from the club. She was that very nice woman that I was chasing. That Benji stopped me from chasing. To put it nicely, to put it not so nicely, he cock blocked because he had the. As much as he doesn't want to admit it, I'm pretty sure he had the hots. But
One can only assume.
I did get a name. I do remember I did get it. So Amber looks to her and with a kind of confused look, she's like, Carmen?
Oh, hi. Wow, I didn't expect to see you here.
Likewise.
How are you?
I'm doing decently. I'm come to visit someone.
I hope they're okay. I'll hope they'll be okay. I mean, anyone, you know how it is. Yeah, Amber, right?
That is me, yes.
Amber, this is my supervisor, Guadalupe Guerrera. And the gentleman just kind of gives you a little bit of a polite nod. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well, Guadalupe. Alright.
Wow. I should let you get to it. We should get drinks sometime.
We should. Oh, I do have a question for you. What is it that you're doing here?
I work here.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Dr.
Oh,
Guerrera
nice.
is my supervising doctor. He's one of my professors.
Now, I remember that Julia was going into medicine, wasn't she? Maybe you might be aware of a friend of mine, Julia Astor.
Give me a second. I think I have this connection somewhere. Ah, yes. Dr. Guerrera says, yes, I am. I do know Julia Astor. She's a bright student.
She's doing well in her studies, I assume.
Of course, she's a spitfire, but got a good head on her shoulders. She's very smart.
I suppose that is very much her. Ah, no, that is good to hear. Good to hear. But I will let you two wonderful medical professionals get back to work. I have some. Unfortunately, I have some questions that I need to ask someone, and well.
Oh?
Yes, you see, I was informed by a friend of a friend that this person I've come to visit has gone through quite the hardships, and that once you find individuals have made sure that she is okay and she is able to get up and move around again, that she may be attacked again. And so I need to get some information from her.
The police have been through already.
Yes, this is more of a friendly to familial matter of protection.
I see. Well, don't let us stop you, Dr. Guerrera says.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Guerrero. And Carmen, I do very much hope that we can go out for those drinks sometime. Sounds wonderful.
Sounds lovely. Let me give you my number. And she takes out a slip of paper and writes her number down. I believe I forgot to do this last time.
Hmm. Things came up, but it's fine. Better late than never.
So true.
She smiles and after Carmen is finished, she would take the paper and tuck it into her phone case so that she may put the number in her phone later.
Well, I'll see you around.
Yes, I very much hope that I do see you around. And she would give a smile and just a little wink before returning to that serious composure and heading for Hannah's room.
And with that, the two of them walk off in a separate direction down the hall and past some security doors.
Yeah, security doors. I ain't getting through those. Not without stealing some ID, but I don't really have any reason to go back there, so it's fine. Then I'm gonna head to Hannah's room and see how.
So you climb up the elevator, and it's quiet. There's no real elevator music to speak of. You walk through the hallways, also busy, noisy, with hospital equipment. But otherwise, fairly quiet.
Yes, ECGs, oxygen pumps, and other such machines. I'm gonna head to her room, see if she's awake. I'm not going to bother her terribly if she's asleep.
She is in a private room, and you give it a slight knock. There's not really an answer.
Slowly open the door so that I can pop my head in and see what's going on.
And the girl that you see lies in the bed, her blonde hair kind of tousled, as if she hasn't really had a chance to comb it, but you would suspect that that's because she's in a bad condition. She looks as if she's been tossed around, she's bruised. You suspect that maybe the damage was more internal. Hooked up to an IV, her vitals being monitored.
There's a chair in the room. I would silently enter, closing the door behind me, and come to sit next to her.
She does stir a little bit as you come in the room. I'm sorry, who are you?
Friend, I'm here to help.
Here to help. Here to help. Help what?
Find out who did this to you.
I've already talked to the police.
Oh, this runs a little deeper than this.
I'm sorry, you're a friend of who?
I'm a friend of a priest.
A priest. There's a lot of those in this city.
Father Trent.
Father Trent.
Yes.
I would like you to make me a manipulation plus subterfuge.
Yeah, no, she's lying. Just straight through her teeth. Manipulation, subterfuge, lying through my teeth. That's a critical win.
Yep, it is. Okay. Father Trent said you?
Yes, he did.
Thank God. You have... It was terrible. I shouldn't be talking about it.
It is fine, my dear. Simply, if you saw any distinguishing features of the person who did this to you.
Oh, distinguishing features is it's like it's like pointing out someone easily. He had red hair. Blood red hair.
Yeah. Was he a tall man? A built man?
Very tall. Very muscular. I think he was wearing a leather jacket. I'm not sure. It's a little bit hazy after that. But he came to my door and was talking to me about some things, and I told him he had to leave. He crashed through my door and attacked me.
And she lets her finish, and Amber would raise a finger and just go, shh. Just very, very gentle shushing me. You have told me more than enough, dear. Thank you very much. I will make sure this is dealt with properly. I'm gonna make sure that when you get out of here, you will be safe.
Okay. Oh God, I shouldn't have said anything.
No. It's fine. I can make this go away.
You can?
I can. But I need only one thing from you. It's a very simple thing.
Okay. He's gonna go to jail, right?
Yes, he's going to jail. She raises a finger to her lips. But I was never here. Is that understood?
Okay.
Good. Have faith, my dear. Everything will be sorted out soon. And she would smile to Hannah, very gently clasping her hand in assurance.
I was scared for my life.
Of course, it's an absolutely terrifying experience what you went through. But it is why I'm here, to endeavor that it never happens again.
Amber, are you using Blush of Life?
I will rouse for it. So, yes, is the answer to the question. She would have blushed to.
I will let it pass this time.
Yep, she would have blushed and then touched her. But that was my bad for not sequencing my actions properly.
Next time I will not let that happen.
Okay.
And you can tell that she is pleased that your hand is warm. He was so cold. Like ice.
There are some circulation issues that can cause that. Maybe he should be the one to go see a doctor.
Maybe. That's what he chalked it up to.
But I will make sure this doesn't happen. Okay? Is that all I need from you? That I was never here.
Got it.
Wonderful. You try and get yourself some more rest. Rest is the path to recovery, after all. And she would smile, doing an air cross over her chest, bowing to Hannah, and then leaving.
You see that she leans back into the bed, still tense, but calmer as you're leaving.
But no, I'm going to head downstairs. I've gotten what I need.
So you head back down the stairs. Are you
Mhm.
leaving the hospital entirely?
Yes, I am checking out, because I would have had to have checked in as a visitor with the receptionist, so I'd be checking out.
Mm-hmm.
And then leaving.
And now you have the information you sought. What do you intend to do with it?
I suppose that I'm not going to go and do a little bit of tailing of Deacon tonight. No, I need to go talk to Mr. Doyle. I need to calm down. I need to make sure that I don't see Benji again for a little while.
Thinking about it, Amber? The date matches up to the day that you guys went to go see the Barons.
I mean, I was awake when Urien was sending him around to a herd member's place. He's botched this so fucking horribly. Oh, it's the last thing we need right now. Mr. Doyle needs to know.
So what do you do?
I am going to go and he said that he was taking the kids out to go and show them around and get them situated.
That is true.
I'm gonna go looking for him because this is important.
Urien, did you tell Amber where you would be?
I don't recall that ever slipping out of my lips through this entire encounter.
Nope.
So you have no idea what he meant by that. He could be anywhere in the domain.
It's too large
It
an
could be
area to
anywhere
search.
outside of the domain.
Might have heard music though.
Heard music.
Bad
Yeah,
music. From a
probably would have
terrible
heard.
DJ, apparently.
Probably would have heard music from a terrible DJ. Because unfortunately, club music comes over our phone real loud.
It's true. I would allow for you to make a width plus academics plus lane.
It's academics lane. Lane is 3. Okie What's academics lane? It's a good thing I have a dot academics, huh? Three. It's respectable.
You know that the domain, having traveled a little bit of it, you know there's a lot of sports bars. But none except for maybe 2 instances where you know of a club. The one that you traveled before, and a new place in the eastern corner of the domain.
It's definitely not the old place, because the music at the old place is infinitely better. Because, who hires a 2-bit DJ? God damn.
And he definitely sounded real atrocious.
Yeah, no. Amber just sounds offended. She just sounds and looks offended even thinking about it. So she's gonna head for the new places. From her frequenting of the old place, she knows that at the very least they have at least somewhat better taste in DJs.
Okay. And so you make your way towards the new club, Club Lush.
Oh, even the name sounds gaudy. Ugh. Well, I may as well grace them with my presence. If anything, I might get them to clean up their act. God.
And it doesn't take much, especially given your good looks, to get inside the door. And Urien is there in the lounge portion of the club. Seems to be having a conversation with the 3 babies. But this club is it would suffice as a place that you hate.
No, this is... Ugh.
So the entirety of the time that you're here, you're suffering from your clan bane.
Yep, so I'm at a -1 for any roll using a discipline. Alright. Oh, this is just disgusting. And the 4, Urien, and the three babies would see Amber coming up, but she's got a kind of a... It's kind of a multi-layered look. You have the facade of friendliness, and under that, you've got the disgust of this place, and then under that, you have the deep burning rage. She's like a rainbow terrain of emotions right now.
So, like a drunk frat girl who just recently broke up with her boyfriend, but is trying to date you, but she is so drunk she might be throwing up in her own mouth, so you're not sure if you want to kiss that.
That is essentially what you are reading, Urien.
That's one way to put it. Oh, that's definitely one way to put it. Oh boy.
I don't need him.
Oh, she is going to come and sit with the boys
With purpose.
with purpose. Like, good
Hey,
evening, gentlemen.
Miss Dupree, whatever do we owe the privilege. I am hoping that you are enjoying yourself this evening, that it has been a productive one.
If definitely
Mm.
enjoying myself. No. And once you hear what I've got to say, unfortunately, you probably won't be either.
Carlos
Alright.
just looks between the two of you and says, "Do we need to leave? Should we go busy ourselves with something?"
Yes. Try and end up scouting out what you hear. Reviews. Understand this place. What can you do? What can you offer to make it better? After all, right now, no one seems to have caught on that Amber is here. When this place is properly announced, I expect it to be able to climatize her tastes.
Fair enough.
I
Come
trust
on.
in the three of you to do so.
He looks to Alfonso and Fox and just says, "Let's go." And the three of them leave the table and are seen perusing around the club, busying themselves.
I hope
Otherwise,
that
outside
they've at least made a point to end up buying drinks in order not to stand out too much.
Fox
Gone
definitely
over
has.
this. It's
Seems to be enjoying themselves.
good. I think that's the first time this Thinblood has had the opportunity to. It's good to breathe a little bit of freedom in your servitude. Looks to Amber. Alright. So what is this news I'm not going to like?
So you know that herd member in the ICU. Benji's screwed the fucking pooch.
I think it's safer for me not to end up having this conversation here in front of a whole bunch of witnesses. Would you be kind enough to escort me out?
Of course, Mr. Doyle, I would be
He
more than
raises
happy
a hand.
to.
If this is going to be something that angers me, I'd rather not end up putting myself in the throes of my impulses in front of a bunch of witnesses in a club I have just established a bunch of Thinbloods in.
Of course. And Amber would offer Urien her hand to lead him out of the club.
He goes and follows her, taking hold of her hand and tries to remain composed, though his mind is already a whirl as to what the hell is going on.
So you exit the club and go into a bit of a secluded space, possibly back to Urian's vehicle to speak.
I'd rather not frenzy while Amber's the only thing in reach.
So you stay more or less out in the open.
Probably in an alley or something nearby. Alright, Miss Dupree. Explain to me on how Benji, to use your vernacular, screwed the pooch.
So, remember when we were going to meet the Baronies at the Terror of the Americas, how before that you gave Benji a little job to go and talk with one of the herd members.
Yes.
Guess which herd member is in the ICU as we speak? Guess who caused it?
Could she identify him?
She could identify his many distinguishing features. Tall, very tall, very broad, blood red hair, leather jacket. Screams Benji. I knew exactly who she was talking about as soon as she mentioned it. So anyone who's seen him before, he's kind of hard to forget given his size. And
I
the
will
other
deal.
thing is that she noticed that he was cold. Something that he chalked up to a circulatory problem, but it means that she observed the fact that he wasn't, you know.
I'm going to speak with Benji. If I do not return, be sure that the domain remains strong and do not end up engaging. Make sure that this domain remains secure and out of reach of an influence of the Camarilla.
I will make sure that that's the case. If the worst case scenario happens.
It won't be hard to find Benji. I'm
Although,
going to...
before there is a massive spout of rage on your end, there is a silver lining to this. I've managed to plant a little rumor that the church here in San Antonio is filled with some religious zealots.
Does this encounter lead back to my ongoings? Does this woman, does she have any belief that there's ties between ourselves and Benji? Is she aware?
I lied to her and said that I came on behalf of Father Trent, and she didn't seem to say anything as to who he was other than physically describing Benji.
So she does not know.
No.
Then I will allow the rest in your capable hands, and I will deal with Benji. I have well, let us just say that it won't be hard to find him. Now I have to find him. Go ahead.
I was simply going to say that I wish you the best of luck on your endeavor, Mr. Doyle, and that you come back to us in one piece.
If I did not handle this on my own, what good am I? He starts to walk back into the club, He places the van's keys in Carlos's hands. Gives him instructions to make the most of this place and to drive back to the gathering place. Urien will simply state that he will be joining them when he gets there.
Alright. I'll see you later then.
Yes. I'll see you later. He just starts to walk out of the club. He knows that this is dangerous. He knows better than to do this, but he needs to make an example. Truth of the matter is that the kindness is to those who deserve it, not to those who feign loyalty and then simply end up causing further problems down the way. Not for one who is I've requested of something, and instead has had more complications threaten our own herd. This must be set right, and I must set the example. Amber is on task now. Would they hand-wave this and have her think that she is immune from consequence as well? No. The example must be set now. He starts to walk through the night. He knows Benji's stomping grounds. He knows where, if he is in the domain, he will not be hard to find. He does not exactly blend in. And should he not be here, I know that Isabella holds his leash now. Perhaps that is what must come.
And with that, we will end tonight's session. Urien walking out into the domain, looking for Benji to set the record straight. And Amber left at Club Lush, where a group of Thinbloods, babies, will make it their own. Thanks for playing, everybody.
Oh god, I just signed my own death warrant.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
We will
Thank
pick
you
up
for
this
run-
same night next session.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't catch Benji. Yeah, topped up.
We'll see.
Yes.
It's only been a couple of nights since you guys saw the Barons.
Yeah.
Oh, I also have that meeting with Dren.
Yeah.
So that'll be a thing that I handle next session.
I am going to have.
We'll get to that deliciousness next time.
Yeah.
For now, we're gonna move on to some experience.
Yeah.
There are no stains for today, thankfully.
And in order for me to avoid next one, I gotta beat the shit out of Benji. The irony of that.
Kinda depends on your definition of who deserves it. But yeah, that's that. One each for both of you.
Yay.
Yay!
And now we're going to move on to the three categories: who moved the plot, who had the best scene, and who had the best lines. So, who moved our plot?
I'm gonna give that one to Amber, actually.
Yeah, I think hers.
They're the reason that Urian's on the warpath. They've done more in the investigation. They have done more in the prep of dealing with Father Trent.
Mm,
I think they earned this one.
perfect. Then, Amber, you get yourself a delicious point of experience.
Yum. I will take that. Thank you very much.
Best scene.
Um, this one's honestly, this one's really difficult. Because I have both a Urien scene and an Amber scene in mind that would fit.
Mm.
Which ones?
But the Urien scene, honestly, with the way that he was guiding the Carlos and the Thinbloods into taking control of the club, the kinds of things that he was saying, the real big guiding scene is to be like, this is what you're doing. I really liked that. And the Amber scene would be when she was speaking with Hannah, basically masquerading as a member of Father Trent's clergy.
Mm.
What do you think? Leave it to a high and low?
Yeah, leave it to a high and low.
All right.
All
So,
right.
what's your call?
High.
High. Yep.
Snagged it. Lucky dicks.
A.
Best line.
That's gonna
Best.
go to Urien.
Oh, for which one?
I've got a couple in mind. His thing regarding just using modern terminology to me is always a candidate, but at the end it's the when he was talking about kindness to those who deserve it was a really big one, really big candidate in my mind. What did you have in mind? Because it does sound like you had one.
No, the line that I'll give it to Urien, but the one that would be for Urien would be is, so what do you mean, screw the pooch? I just love the sound of that coming out of Urien's voice.
Yeah.
Like, not only is he not sure what has happened, but he might not even be sure as to what the expression means.
Right?
It's like, so which do you mean? Mm.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. No, I would give it for that as well. So we are in unanimous agreement on that one.
Mm. Delightful. Delightful. Well, that does it for experience. What you guys think?
I think bitches love cannons, because I just got mine.
Got your cannon?
Yes.
Yes, I just hit 20 experience floating.
Ooh. What are we spending it on, big spender? I mean, not
Well,
not like it's a surprise.
not like it's a surprise. Yeah, we are spending it on, Thaumaturgy 4, or pardon, Blood Sorcery 4.
Blood Sorcery 4.
4.
Which power
Yes.
are you taking?
Ironically, I am thinking Blood Sorcery, Extinguish Vitae, Taste for Blood. I'm going to take... Strength. I think I might end up taking Corrosive Vitae.
Corrosive Vitae. Okay.
Yeah. The reason being is that Bell's Caress doesn't play to Urian's Strength, and Theft of Vitae is utterly useless. Or, pardon, Theft of Vitae is utterly useless for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's only
So-
humans.
Yeah. He has Blood Potency, which is going to be good, and I'm going to use that, plus Corrosive Vitae helps a lot, so we are going to end up taking Corrosive Vitae.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Alright.
rerolling. I mean, with the blood of potency for the boost for the level 1 and below rerolls.
Well, what that means is right now here's his Extinguish Vitae roll.
That's 10 dice total, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I know it's Derek dice,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I'm going heavy on that because if that thing ever crits,
Yep, you hit him with 2 hunger instead of 1.
And you've got a lot of capabilities to be able to crit.
You
On
got a
that.
lot of dice to
That's
do
10
it.
Dice for.
Yep.
A lot of dice to do it, yeah.
and if that's not bad enough, because I have Blood of Potency.
If you use that first, you can give yourself the discipline
Reroll.
power bonus.
Yep.
And rerolls.
Which also means I got rerolls on Extinguish Vitae.
And that particular Blood of Potency roll is a crit.
Yep.
Oh, it is too!
But we'll get to that next time.
We will.
Suffice it to say,
Urian's not happy.
Urian's not happy, and Urian's not an idiot.
Nope. Alright. Well, with everything said and done, are you spending any, Amber?
No, I am banking. I've got something in mind, and I'm 2 away from it. So
Nice. Alright.
that'll be where I'm going. But just as a little thought that I'm going to put in everyone's mind, including our wonderful artist ST.
Mm-hmm.
Slutty nun Amber. That is all.
Oh, wow. Alright. Well, thank you to everyone who came out to watch.
Yes.
You all are wonderful. And hopefully you all have a wonderful night. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.